Alright, so study session 4. So I've been having a little bit of trouble studying lately. So it's been almost like a week or so that I've not studied anything. So yeah, studying is kind of difficult. But then yeah, so I decided to study today. Anyways, I didn't get much done. I only studied for about an hour or so. That's not that good, but I mean, after 1 week of not studying shit, I think it's good enough. Hopefully tomorrow we'll study a bit more. So we didn't study much today. So we studied last time. We completed up till chapter 8. So today we started chapter 8, the arm. So we studied the arm from here up to only this much, up to the musculocutaneous nerve. So we completed from here to here. So that's not much, but anyways, I'll share what I learned. So the arm is like one of the parts of the upper body, and we need to study it. So if you take a transverse section of your arm, what will you find is that the arm is roughly divided into the posterior part and the anterior part and the posterior part. So the arm is divided into transversely, it is divided into the posterior part and the anterior part. So how is it divided? It is divided with the help of this thing, this one, these two septums. So this one is called lateral intermuscular septum, and this one is called medial intermuscular septum. So these two septums originate from the walls of the humerus, which is the bone of your arm. This originates from the medial wall and goes to the center. It originates from the skin, like the medial part of the skin of the humerus, and goes to the medial wall of the humerus. And this lateral one originates from the lateral part of your skin of your arm and goes to the lateral and natural wall of the humerus. So with these two, you can see there is approximately a horizontal line here, and because of this line it separates the arm into posterior and anterior part. So this is very important because you know the two most important muscles of your arm are biceps and triceps, and biceps help to flex your arm, and triceps help to relax your arm, right? So they are like complementary. So in order to flex your arm, the muscles should be at the front of your body, right? So in front of your body. So this in front is basically anterior. So at the anterior section, this section, the bicep muscle lies in this section, whereas the tricep muscles lies in the posterior section, which is divided by this line. uh, so this line helps the arm to function, these two muscles to function independently of each other without interfering with each other, and which is very important for the proper functioning of your arm. So now let's look at the muscles, that the main muscles of the arm. So there are basically, before we go there are basically three main muscles of the arm. The first one is called coraco coracobrachialis or something like that. Coracobrachialis, the first one is this one. The second one is called biceps brachii, and the third one is called brachialis muscles. So there are three muscles of the arm. Sorry, three muscles of the arm, and these are the three muscles. So let's look at each one separately. So biceps brachii. So when they say that flex your biceps, flexing your biceps, like the biceps is the most prominent muscle when you that is seen on your arm. Like when you think of your arm, you think of biceps, basically biceps and triceps. So this is the infamous biceps muscle, infamous biceps muscle. So each muscle in your body, as you already know, I guess that has origin and an insertion. So origin, the biceps muscle has two heads. So the short head origins at as the origin at the acromion process of the scapula or the shoulder bone. This is the short head, and this one is a little bit longer, and this is called the long head, and it origins from the supragelenoid tubercle of the shoulder blade. So these the heads of the biceps originate from the from your shoulder blade, and these two heads like combine together here, and basically this is your bicep muscle. It lies at the front or the anterior part of your arm. It covers the whole body shaft of the humerus, and at last it terminates at the radial tuberosity. So after humerus, the bones of your forearm are radius and ulna or ulna. I don't know how to say that. Ulna. So this one or terminates at the radius or radial tuberosity. So this one terminates at the radial tuberosity here, and this one of its end or terminates at the radial tuberosity of the radius. However, it also has another end, this end. So this end is interesting because it does not terminate at the radial tuberosity. Instead, I believe it goes some and terminates somewhere in the ulna, but it is this one, this part is called bicipital aponeurosis. This is important because this tendon, these are tendons, the green part. So these heads are tendons. All right. So this bicipital aponeurosis separates the median cubital vein, which is the vein that doctors use to draw blood from your arm, and your brachial artery. So this one is this bicipital aponeurosis acts like a border between the brachial vein and median cubital brachial artery and median cubital vein. This one is important. So that is all about the biceps brachii, or basically your biceps. Now let's talk about brachialis muscle. So brachialis muscle originates at the humerus itself. So it does not have origin at the shoulder blade like biceps brachii. It originates at the shaft of the humerus, somewhere in the middle part of the humerus. One interesting thing is at the middle part it originates from the these lateral and medial septa. So like this muscle, the brachialis muscle, originates from the intermuscular septum. So these septums, this muscle originates not from a bone, but also from a bone, like the borders of the bone humerus, but also from the septum as well. So origins here, and it terminates somewhere at the ulna coronoid process and the tuberosity of ulna. So it originates at the humerus and terminates at the ulna, not the radius, but at the ulna. So it covers like the lower part of the humerus, whereas the bicep brachius covers the whole humerus. It only covers like from middle to lower part of the humerus. That's pretty much it about it. And now this one is important, musculocutaneous nerve. So before we go to this one, let's talk about the third and the last muscle, that is called coracobrachialis muscle. So this coracobrachialis muscle originates at the acromion process of the this is the acromion process of the shoulder blade, and this no, not the acromion process, sorry. This is the coracoid process of the shoulder blade, and then these two, like the coracoid process. So this muscle originates alongside the short head of bicep brachii. So this muscle originates with the short head of brachius muscle. So this brachius short head of brachius brachii and the origin of coracobrachialis are similar at the same point. So it originates from here, and then it goes down and down. This is the muscle. It originates here, it goes down, and then it terminates somewhere at the middle of the humerus on its medial side. So it terminates at the medial wall of the humerus. So the termination is not that important, but well, basically it terminates at the medial part of the humerus. So these are the muscles, these are basically that. So coracobrachialis originates at the coracoid process of the scapula, similar to alongside the short head of brachis brachii, and terminates at the medial wall of the humerus. So now let's talk about something else. The one of the most important nerves of your arm is called musculocutaneous nerve, which originates from the lateral branch of the brachius plexus, brachial plexus, which I've covered in one of my other review session videos. So it is one of the branches of the brachial plexus, so musculocutaneous nerve. So it is very important for you to understand the pathway of this nerve. So this lateral branch or lateral this originates from the lateral cord or lateral branch of the brachial plexus. As you can see, it comes from here, and it penetrates the coracobrachialis muscle. After penetrating the coracobrachialis muscle near your armpit, it goes inside your arm. From your armpit it moves towards the humerus, and then at the humerus it moves like downwards and laterally. So it moves downwards and laterally. So it moves downwards and laterally like this, basically diagonally, and it goes towards the elbow joint. It goes towards the elbow joint. Right. So at the elbow joint, it continues as the lateral cutaneous nerve of your forearm. So at the arm, this part it is called the musculocutaneous nerve, whereas after it crosses the elbow towards the forearm part of your body, it is known as the lateral cutaneous nerve, and it supplies the lateral part of your skin. And along the way, this nerve basically supplies all the muscles I've mentioned before, like these muscles. Like the musculocutaneous nerve supplies the brachius brachii, the brachii, like it supplies, as you can see, it is giving branches to, as you can see, it is giving branches to brachius brachii here. It is giving branches to brachialis muscle here. This is the branch to brachialis muscle. So basically, while moving diagonally towards the forearm, it supplies all the muscles of your arm. So this is a very important nerve of your arm. And now let's move to the last picture that we have here. This is a transverse section passing through lower one third of your arm. So transverse slice of your arm. So as you can see, as I mentioned earlier, these two are the septum, intramuscular septum, and and there are apart from these two, there are other two septums as well. This is anterior posterior septum, and this is called the transverse septum. So there are basically four septums. This is medial septum, this is lateral septum, anterior posterior septum, and transverse septum. So at the transverse septum you can see there are very important structures there. This is the brachial artery, the main artery of your arm, and this is the artery which is used to measure blood pressure. Along with medial brachial artery, we have median nerve. We will talk about this in following videos. And this one is the nerve. This one is the musculocutaneous nerve, which I have just this nerve. This one is this musculocutaneous nerve, which I have just discussed about, which I've talked about like recently, few seconds ago. So this is the musculocutaneous nerve. It pierces the transverse section. Um, and you can see at the like this is interesting, like uh, so so hold on. Okay, so at the medial part we have the ulnar nerve and superior ulnar collateral artery, and at the lateral part we have radius and radial nerve and radial collateral artery. So like the nerve supplying radius and nerve supplying ulna are like opposite directions to each other. One is at the medial side and another is at the lateral side. Basically these represent, the positions of the radius and ulna. So radius is at the medial side. Radius is the medial bone of your forearm, whereas suppose this is your forearm and this is your hand. So and this is your body. So radius is the medial bone, whereas ulna is the lateral bone. So as you can see, you can see this is being reciprocated in the way that this is. Uh, Hold on a second. This is being reciprocated here as well. So that's pretty much it about it. So we learned some about muscles of the arm and basically stuff like that.